In Iran, hundreds of thousands of people marched on Sunday towards the centers of Tehran and the main cities of the country to celebrate the 45th anniversary of the Islamic Revolution. In Palestine, the Arab League condemned the imminent Israeli ground offensive against Rafah, where 1.5 million Palestinians remain as refugees. In Finland, polling stations open to hold a second round of presidential elections. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from the TeleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. On Friday, in the Ecuadorian province of Cotopaxi, the indigenous movement held its first march against the demonstration of President Daniel Noboa. Representatives of the native peoples marched through the streets of Latacunga city, claiming for increased security and for the right to implement their own justice system. Also, demonstrators denounced the lack of health services, education, employment, and the increase of the value-added tax introduced by Noboa. This is considered the first protest of the indigenous movement against the administration of President Noboa and his measures to tackle organized crime. In Ecuador, authorities are running security operations in state prisons, mainly in the El Litoral prison, due to inmate links with organized crime. Regional Police Chief Freddy Goyes said Friday that during the Carnival holiday, they will continue with searches and censuses in the country's prisons. He said they will continue taking action against inmates with links to organized crime. Since January 9th, the Ecuadorian government is waging war against organized crime. So far, they have executed 1,341 arrest warrants, with some 200 of those detainees allegedly being involved in terrorist actions. In El Salvador, the Supreme Electoral Court has officially announced the victory of Nayib Bukele, despite reports of over 47% abstentions. Bukele has become the first president to be re-elected, despite a constitutional ban on that regard. They have denounced that after counting 100% of the votes casted last February 4th, 2.7 million Salvadorans out of the more than 6 million registered voters favor Nayib Bukele and his new ideas party. The announcement came amidst alleged irregularities and fraud claims made by social organizations. Those claims add to the complaints made regarding alleged failures in the automated voting system. In Peru, around 334 areas in the Central Highlands were declared as critical due to the danger of landslides and floods caused by heavy rainfall. According to National Service of Meteorology and Hydrology of Peru, moderate to heavy rainfall is expected in the highlands and moderate to extreme intensity in the north coast from this Sunday to Tuesday, February 13th. Also, they warned about the possibility of rainfall with hail in localities above 2,800 meters above sea level. There will be snow in areas above 4,000 meters above sea level in the central and southern highlands. In view of this situation, the agency called on the population to protect and reinforce the roofs of their homes, as well as to establish an early warning system by means of whistles, bells, alarms, sirens, or loudspeakers in coordination with local authorities. In Argentina, more than 387 people and 18 reverse brigadiers continue working to extinguish the fire in Los Alerces National Park, located in Chubut. The Department of Fire Communications and Emergencies reported that the fire in the national park affected at least 7,808 hectares and continues active. Likewise, the National Meteorological Service reported a storm with electrical shocks from the north of Neuquén and stated they do monitoring for the possibility of it extending to the south of Chubut. In this sense, tourist services work normally and motorists are recommended to drive with caution on the route near the national park. On the other hand, a yellow alert has been issued in 7 provinces and an orange alert in Buenos Aires after heavy rainfall. In this sense, the National Meteorological Service forecasts rainfall values between 50 and 80 millimeters that could be exceeded. Scientific entities recommended to stay away from coastal areas and light poles or power lines. It also recommended to always have an emergency backpack ready with a flashlight, radio, documents, and telephone. With TeleSUR, you can now celebrate one of the largest festivals in the South American continent. Gladys Quesada brings you all the details in this Carnival Time 2024. Tune in every day this week at 7 p.m. Caracas time through our Facebook Live at TeleSUR English Official and X account at TeleSUR English and discover our most colorful celebrations. Other stories coming up. Stay with us. Welcome back from the south. In Iran, hundreds of thousands of people marched on Sunday towards the center of Iran and the main cities of the country to celebrate the 45th anniversary of the Islamic Revolution. The massive marches started in the morning hours on Sunday, February 11th, with shouts of "Down with America" and "Down with Israel," the main adversaries of the Islamic Republic since the victory of the Islamic Revolution in 1979. In Tehran, the capital, the crowd marched through the main avenues in the center of the city to congregate in the nomadic Azadi or Freedom Square, one of the main protest points during the revolution that deposed the pro-Western Pahlavi monarchy and established the Islamic Republic. This year's marches have also become an opportunity to condemn the genocide and barbarism committed by the Israeli regime with the support of the U.S. in the Palestinian enclave. Let's take a look at some of the achievements of the Islamic Revolution, the Balayat 7 maneuvers, where Iranian Air Forces tested smart bombs and modern weapons, as well as the design and manufacture of Qadir submarines used in the navigation of the waters of the Persian Gulf, in protection of peace and defensive diplomacy, and the creation of a long-range ballistic missile capable of detecting targets at a distance of 200 kilometers. They are part of the list of achievements in the military area during these first 45 years of the Islamic Revolution. In the cultural field, Iran worked in the tourism industry to become one of the countries with the highest number of tourists, for which created more than 2,000 education centers in which more than 4 million people receive university education. The nation also dedicated itself to internationalizing Iranian art, its handicraft being some of the most popular in the world. Iran's scientific technological development has earned global recognition in this area, ranking first in the development of nuclear energy as an alternate source of fuel, despite the restrictions imposed from the West. Iran continues its efforts to contribute to the production and scientific and technical evolution of the planet. In terms of international policy, since the arrival of the Islamic Revolution, stands out the support for the expulsion of U.S. troops in West and East Asia. It's also consolidated relations of comprehensive cooperation with countries in Latin America and the Caribbean. It has also raised its relations with China and Russia as reference of emerging economies and world leadership. At the same time, the Iranian government has achieved an important position in today's global geopolitics without undermining its identity, sovereignty, and national dignity. Nicaragua congratulated the government and people of Iran on the occasion of the 45th anniversary of the Iranian Islamic Revolution. In an official letter, President Daniel Ortega and Vice President Rosario Murillo conveyed on behalf of the people and government of reconciliation and national unity of the Republic of Nicaragua the nation's most sincere congratulations to the Iranian leadership and heroic people. The letter wrote, "Our brotherly peoples of Iran and Nicaragua have traveled a common path in defense of their fundamental rights and the closeness of our convictions for the creation of a world of peace, justice, and prosperity." The letter added that Nicaragua reaffirms its commitment to continue strengthening the bonds of friendship, fraternity, solidarity, and cooperation that unite both peoples and governments. On Sunday, the Arab League condemned the imminent Israeli ground offensive against Rafah, where 1.5 million Palestinians remain as refugees. The Secretary General of the Arab League, Ahmed Gul Gate, warned in a statement on Sunday that plans to displace hundreds of thousands of people from the southern Gaza Strip, people who have taken refuge there as a last resort in the face of Israel's indiscriminate attacks, is a serious threat to regional stability. The official said Israeli extreme rights want to empty Gaza of its inhabitants through a policy of ethnic cleansing to recolonize the area with Israeli citizens. He said pushing Palestinians to flee Gaza and into Egypt is a violation of international law. We have a second short break coming up, but before we invite you to join our WhatsApp community for our English-speaking audience, you can scan the QR code on screen to join directly and share the link to reach more people. Constant news coverage of the world. Stay connected and informed with TeleSUR. Final short break, don't go away. Welcome back from the south. This Sunday in Finland, polling stations open to hold a second round of presidential elections. In this round, Conservative Alexander Stubb and the representative of the Green League, Pekka Haavisto, will face each other. Both candidates reached the second round after winning 27.2% and 25.8% of the votes respectively in the first round, beating the other 7 candidates. Approximately 4.5 million Finns are expected to go to polls between 9 a.m. and 8 p.m. local time to elect their next president. Minutes after closing the polls, the first official data will be released. The Russian government described as economic banditry the European Union's plans to use the profits from frozen Russian assets to support Ukraine. The Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs expressed in a press release their disapproval of what they described as a new attempt by Western countries to confiscate their sovereign reserves. They also denounced the plans of the joint West to use Russian assets to support Kiev, since the bloc's debt is already huge. The Russian authorities also reminded that all such actions constitute a serious violation of international law. We have come to the end of this news brief. You can find these and many other stories on our website, telesurenglish.net. You can also join us on our social media, Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, TikTok. For TeleSUR English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thank you for watching.